I'm sure the title of this video may make you think that I'm another Avatar: The Last Airbender cuck who's decided it's his turn to suck the show off, and you'd be right, but what prompted me specifically to create this video was the recent resurgence of Avatar thanks to its addition to the Netflix repertoire. And all the talk of Avatar, from memes to heated debates about the Deus Ex marking a giant lion turtle, made me think of myself when I was younger. Avatar began airing in early 2005, and while I'm not entirely sure if I watched the show on its first airing, as my long-term memory is pretty horrendous, I definitely remember watching what would have been reruns when I was in primary school. And while many shows had an effect on my young lifestyle, I literally wrote a knockoff fourth journal, none affected my imagination as heavily as the concept of bending elements did. Combine the mind of a 7-year-old and the idea of moving giant rocks with just your hand movements, and you would end up with a kid playing in the garden for hours, or pretending they were managing to move the flickering fire of a candle wick. And I'm sure many of my friends were as excited as I was to get home on time after school before a new Avatar episode started. At some point, I realized the rewatchable aspect of the show and bought every book on disc, which I would bring with me on any hunting vacation my dad would sometimes take the family on, to watch the show throughout the evening as the sun took its rest on the farmland horizon, and the grass blew gently in the breeze. And from watching many of the Avatar video essays that have been coming out, clearly this show grew on so many of us over the years, even if we didn't realize it until now. And thanks to this resurgence, people such as myself can also begin to understand Avatar on a deeper level than we ever would have as kids. When I rewatched The Last Airbender recently, I happened to notice more with a matured perspective, which clearly those who have made video essays around the show also noticed. I saw Zuko more clearly, as a turmoiled character, sure, but also as
just a teenager
who had to choose between the approval of his father or the acceptance of the fact that Ozai had never been a father to him in the first place. A character who had to stare into the soul of his sister and conclude that she was well beyond repair, but simultaneously saw Azula in himself if he had not taken the path he did. A character whose redemption arc was so well structured, I have failed to see any show since then that reaches a height of excellence as high as Zuko's, although some came close. I saw a character who had to stare himself down and change his ways even when he thought it may be too late for redemption, from Team Avatar and Iroh alike. And when Zuko kneeled before his uncle in the same begging position with similar tears in his eyes as he had when he begged for forgiveness from his father. Iroh didn't scar him, but forgave him, showing the unconditional love he never received from Ozai. I saw Iroh's character in a new light too, a great loss leading to the formation of a kind heart, because not unlike Zuko, Iroh saw in his sibling what he could have become if he had not had to mourn the loss of his son, giving him time to contemplate what life should really be spent doing, helping others and ending wars, while always remembering what let him change his course. A character who never let the concept of separate nations keep him from respecting and treasuring all life and elements, not unlike our protagonist. A character who provided help and advice to those in turmoil, whether that be his own nephew or a girl he had just met by chance. Speaking of tough, there is a scene in the finale of the show that gets me more than any other. As she dangles in midair with her only connection being a loose grip, Sokka lets out this line.
I don't think Boomerang is coming back, Toph! It looks like this is the end!
Which leads the tough, no-quitter girl Toph we have all come to love to be broken apart as she has to come to the realization that her last moments will be spent in true blindness. Why I bring these moments up at all is because they all share a common purpose, which is to ground the viewer in this universe. The result is something far more than that, however. We weren't just grounded in the universe, we learned to love it tremendously over time. And now there is a chance for kids at the age we used to be to experience that once again. And through this connected spirit we share, we as older fans of the show have a responsibility to welcome those who are newer. Not unlike it is the previous Avatar's purpose to provide counsel, we should share our experiences with The Last Airbender with these newcomers, as opposed to closing them off from it. As we all share this Avatar spirit, we can come together as a community to reminisce over how enthralled we were by the show as younger children, to be shocked at how equally entertaining it is to watch as a more matured person, to celebrate the resurgence of this beloved show and its fandom, and to appreciate how timeless the show is, as it never fails to draw on human emotion, struggle, and happiness, so true to life.